Hello my beautiful Aquarians, welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for the end of August right through the end of September 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I will be using guide chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Also, something that may be of benefit to you as you take this breath for yourself is to utilize this time to really visualize the sort of success you desire to achieve in your career, whether it is financial amounts of money that are very specific, or whether it is, your reputation increasing or opportunities coming on in. Really see it like you have it right now, because the guide chimes recalibrate vibrations and help you align to a vibration of manifestation. So something to think about as I use the guide chimes. So let us start your reading and let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aquarians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome. Now, with the guide chimes, I really felt that, of course, you're very busy, you're focused on something. There was one note that kept playing, so I really feel that you're in a routine or repetitive cycle because you're a pro at what you do. Consistency is the key to success, of course, but also I felt something else going on in the background. Either this is an idea that you are having right now, or maybe it's a hobby that you do and you're thinking about making it a business, or perhaps it is something you already have in motion that you're doing behind the scenes. It feels like it complements whatever it is that you're doing, and I feel the vibration around it rising. So you may make some major headway on it over the next coming weeks and months there. It's definitely something that's going to be bringing you success, and I felt an energy of no matter what you do, because of course everybody who comes to this reading is going to do something differently. I felt the echoes of success being long lasting, okay? Something that is solid. It was like it echoes. It feels like it has a ripple effect for you. It feels like it is ongoing, as it were. It's like you are the epicenter of it, and it is something that continues to flow from you right up until like after retirement as well. So perhaps it's something that's like passive income, or something that is, ongoing, that you're having an idea on or you're doing right now. It feels like it leaves a legacy. Okay, so that's something that really strongly came through there for you. We have the Devil card to start. So there's an energy here, of course, of you following your passions, maybe even burning the candle at both ends, feeling very exhausted. Some of you may feel like you're in a toxic environment when it comes to your working environment there as well. But I will pick up on the energy when I get to it. I have to get all the cards first. I mean, the Devil card can also indicate that you're passionate, you're intense, you're obsessive about what it is that you desire in terms of success. They always say that, you have to be a little bit obsessive if you want to get to the top of something and you've got the tower there. Now the tower is you being a tower of power. It's in the resistance position. It's kind of where you want it to be, because if you're feeling a little bit stuck in a rut, or you're feeling that, you know, you've reached a certain point in your career where you're a little bit frustrated, the tower releases you. There's a liberation. So it can be that, you know, you are on course to be very wealthy. You've got the tree there. And I mean, look, even the last card, the first word there is longevity. And I felt that in your energy. So this is long-lasting generational wealth or money that you leave as a legacy in some way. So I feel like, you know, you are passionate. We got the star. Yeah. This is you taking it to the top. This is you kind of like shining your light. However, it's hard, okay? And you may come across people who are frustrating. Maybe you're dealing with people, situations, tools, you know, whatever it is, it feels like there's a frustration here. And some of you, if you've just left a very toxic environment, the star energy can indicate that you're healing. And you may be a little bit nervous about going into the next working environment, but actually I feel that the new environment is a very healthy working environment. Now also, if you work for yourself, because that devil card is drawing me so strongly to it, and it is a protagonist energy. So this can indicate, you know, that you are someone who is trying to be extra disciplined. And, you know, it is a card of temptation. So it's not that you're procrastinating from time to time. I feel like with the star energy, you're kind of highlighting anything that drains you, anything that wastes your time. I feel like you're trying to filter it out so that you can be disciplined, so you can be structured, so you can be productive. But I do feel like you're leading with passion. And for some of you, this could be that you are, I mean, look at this. We got the Fool card here as well. There's an Ace of Cups, something new coming on in. I mean, for some of you, this could be that you're obsessively completing tasks to like a high degree. You're under pressure, you have a lot on, you're exhausted, and you're trying to get stuff done. So you can either take a vacation, a moment of pause, or that you can get on to the next project. I feel like because the devil card is there, some of you may also have like a time-sensitive kind of task or responsibility, but you're going to get it done. You know, we got the death card there. So this is all about completing things, endings, bringing new beginnings. So I would say whatever it is that you do, you're on top of it. I feel like you're in a management kind of phase where you're kind of just ticking things off your to-do list. And I feel a lot of you, it's like you may be under pressure. Because the star is there, you know, you are out there shining a light, and you may feel that you are unappreciated or go unnoticed. It's like you're at capacity with that devil card there. We've got the Page of Cups. Something is being offered to you here, and I'm excited about it. We got the Tower. It helps you break free. We got the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I could feel that Ten of Wands in your energy. You know, success requires a lot of commitment, and you're committed to whatever it is that you're doing. And sometimes, you know, we feel very under pressure because we care so much about the trajectory that we're on. So I feel a lot of you right now, this is about you being passionate about what you do. But also, I mean, you don't have any pentacles here. It doesn't mean that you're not focused on the finances, because I feel this is about you rooting with the tree there, rooting your energy, grounding yourself in an area where you can branch out, nourish your skill set, and of course, create a lot of wealth. Trees are always about financial endeavors there. And we've got expansion. Some of you may feel that you've been working super hard and it's been a very slow process. And you're like, you feel that you've been putting so much into your career, and somehow you feel frustrated, or that you're in the same place. Or you may feel that some of the opportunities have passed you by, and you're just like wanting to not course correct, but some of you, yes, course correct. I feel like, you know, there's so much new energy here. You may even shock some people by giving in your notice. For some of you, not all of you, of course, the Tower energy can be to break free. You know, the Tower actually works for you, but I will pull a card on it because it's also in your outcome energy. So this can be that you're shocked by, you know, some of the hard work that you've been doing there starts to really pay off, and sudden opportunities are coming in. Remember, the Tower is just a sudden energy, and it can be that you've waited a long time for something, and then suddenly, like buses, everything arrives all at the same time. We've got an Ace of Cups here. We've also got a Page of Cups. These are, you know, circumstances that are offering you something that you would love, something that is connected to your dreams or your goals. But it's not just about dreams or goals, because of course, without a plan, I feel, dreams and goals are just like wishes, right? And we can connect to vibrations that can draw that in. It takes a little bit longer, but with a plan, you're taking action. And I feel a lot of you are doing that. Now, I just want to address anyone who's come to this reading who's currently out of work, who has been feeling really frustrated and maybe even a bit worried, because the Devil card can be anxiety there as well. I would say that you are someone who actually outshines a lot of people in your industry. You're someone who is perhaps told sometimes that you are, overqualified, for example. But I want you to be aware that that just means that the structure financially is not willing to pay the amount of money that you deserve. So if any institution or work, job, company, whatever, says, you know what, you're a bit overqualified for this position, it basically means they love what you're about. They love what you're capable of and what you do. However, they're like trying to barter with you, knock your confidence a little bit and say, you know what, we've got a certain amount in the budget, and we'd love to hire you if you give us an indication that you're willing to take less. And I feel like you're so done with that, okay? I feel a lot of you are going to find an opportunity, and there is an energy here. Some of you may find like a temporary opportunity in the meantime until you find what you're really looking for, okay? But ultimately, I see here that you're having the staying power. Like, you know what? Nope. If you feel like I'm overqualified, that's great. I'm already established. I've worked really hard to get to the top of where I am right now. And if you're not willing to pay, then I'm going to say nay. I would never talk like that, but, I would say no. That's the energy. My guides just came in and said nay. So I have to give you what my guides gave. So perhaps some of you said something like that recently. I'm not sure. But if you are looking for an opportunity, I see two coming on in here. One feels like has a lot of potential, okay? But also, because the Page of Cups is there, there is another role which is more of a starting position, okay? Something that you're a little bit more curious about. You can migrate your skill set. It seems to be in a sector that you are aligned with, that you really want to be in. And I feel that, you will expand in this role. I mean, there's two roles. You're going to choose which one is right for you. I mean, I feel one of them sets you free, okay? I mean, I feel both of them are hard work. Got to be honest with you. Ten of Wands indicates that, there's a lot of tasks, responsibilities. It may even be a standalone position, one of them. But I feel like you rise through the ranks quite quickly, and actually you stay in this role until retirement. So please take it as it resonates. But I do feel that you're waiting, because the Temperance card is there, you're waiting for a role that aligns with your skill set, but also with your sense of purpose and the right money, okay? So it has to have all those ingredients. When you have cups, it's all about water. It's about mixing things, things bubbling up. It's about the ingredients. They all have to be right, okay? But some of you may take a temporary role because this is in the resistance position. So it can be that, you decide to leave a position. The Tower can be that as soon as you've started something that in your mind and in your heart is temporary, you may suddenly have to give in your notice because something better comes along, okay? So it could be that you're in something, then you're out something, then you're in something long term, okay? So that's coming out very strongly with a lot of love and respect. I'm going to move away from that energy. Let's get to the Devil card, because it really is a strong presence as your first card there. Now, this can indicate that some of you are witnessing some changes in your industry and you're just a little bit nervous about the trajectory of how it's unfolding. You may be witnessing a lot of redundancies because we got the Tower in the resistance position. We got the Death card, which is endings. Okay, I just want to address this because the Devil card can be an anxiety, okay? And we've got the Tree as an outcome. You're going to be secure, okay? I feel a lot of you are perhaps even looking for positions or even opportunities, because I feel like there's something here in your energy where you may be having it's like you've got a plan A and you've got a plan B, right? And it can be that they are complementing each other. Some of you have like an incredible talent or gift that perhaps you're doing on the side or getting it online or doing something that kind of like is aligned with futuristic gains, is what I'm being given by my guides. And I feel this will really take off. It may be a slow moving process, but it's really going to take off, okay? I feel this is something that gives you what you may feel at first is like a cushion, like, okay, like that's just going to be great. I'll keep that running in the background just in case. But I feel like you won't need your just in case. I feel like you're secure. The tree represents longevity, growth in your career, and, this energy of finding portals of opportunity to be stable and secure no matter the weather, okay? Look at that tree. That tree kind of has weathered some stuff and is flourishing. So I feel like if you're worried about your industry and the changes that are going on, the Tower is in the resistance position, which means you are not directly affected by any shocks or kind of like well, I feel some of you, your company, if you work for a company, may do some merging, okay, or relocating. There's a little bit of kind of refurb energy as well. So it could be that there's some DIY or something going on. There could be some sort of distraction, but I feel, you're not directly affected by anything untoward. The death card is also in the resistance position, like it's in the reverse. That's kind of where you want it to be as well. If the death card was there with the Tower, I would say expect some really shock endings in your industry. But, I don't see that in your energy. This reading's for the next 6 weeks, so I want you to be aware of that. So coming back to this card, though, this is the protagonist energy. So I feel like you are at capacity right now. This is excess. You may feel overworked. You may feel that you have a lack of support or a lack of tools sometimes to do what you do. And you may feel that you're under pressure. That's the main energy I'm getting from this card. And that can make you feel a little bit snappy sometimes. Don't shoot the messenger when I say that. But, it says here, shadow self, obsession, addiction. Some of you are workaholics, but it's because you have to be because of the circumstances in the economy right now. So it can be that you are taking on extra workloads, or you are noticing redundancies in your industry and maybe in your company, and you're taking up the slack. So a lot of you are under pressure, and there can be this need to do excess work in order to feel like you're secure in your industry. I want you to be aware that you are, okay? I mean, you're still going to be really busy over the next 6 weeks there. This indicates that you're doing it all, whatever it is that you do. Even if you work for yourself, you're an entrepreneur or an independent worker or a creative, if you are a sole trader, I feel like you're doing it all. You're at capacity. And it can be that you are just noticing the industry changing, or you feel there are some challenges that you are negotiating, and you feel this pressure to keep performing right now in order to keep up with the workload or keep up with, everything that you're doing or trying to aspire to achieve. I mean, you really stand out in your industry. The star energy indicates that you're out there shining your light. I feel there is this energy where you may be looking at where you are obsessive about your workload and how you can maybe have a healthier working environment. So there may be conversations either with yourself or with your boss, or, if you work for yourself or have your own business there, it could be that there are some health and safety kind of talks, or even mindfulness, well-being in the working environment that is on your mind or is brought up in some sort of appraisal there. This card, it literally says shadow self, materialism as well. It says excess, lust, dependency, limits. So I would say a lot of you, there is an energy where you have reached a certain limit when it comes to your workload, because the Ten of Wands is there. So I feel like, you are committed, maybe even overcommitted to something right now. So it can be that you're clearing down your workload as quickly as possible. We got the Death card, so you are definitely concerned with ending projects, getting your tasks completed, and then on to the next. So I feel like you're a bit of a whiz, over the next coming weeks and months there, where you are basically completing things to a very high standard. But also this is you having that lust for your career. I would say a lot of you are burning the candle at both ends. So perhaps you're doing more than one thing and you're just feeling exhausted, but you are aware of perhaps, toxic energies in your working environment if you work for a company, especially since you are someone who, shines your light. You're out there succeeding, doing everything that you can in your role in order to get ahead and earn money and just, put money into your 401ks, take down any debt if you have debt, focus on your finances. I feel like you're just showing up, bringing your A game. And some people see that you are, in line for some sort of elevation, or you do tasks and responsibilities that, other people perhaps can't do, or you're capable of doing it all. And that shows other people up and they're like, oh, okay. So they may single you out. Perhaps some of you have dealt with someone who has been extra impatient or tried to micromanage you in some way, or someone who has tried to keep you stuck in some way. This could be a boss for some of you, or it can be a coworker, someone who's changed their personality around you, and it's because they see your sense of purpose and your like laser-like focus and your talent, okay? You're going to get opportunities that they are not going to get. So I feel there could be this energy eventually that this person will leave, and this may shock a lot of people, but they see you as competition at first. So that may be the reason why they are singling you out or keeping you kind of like apart somehow. Now, if you work for yourself, this could also be a leading competitor or someone who perhaps loves what you're about and they're looking to you and trying to get there first. So I would say keep your ideas either patented, trademarked, or maybe to yourself until you're ready to launch, because you could have a copycat there and they may try to get there first, okay? I mean, this card is all about Saturn, so I feel like you're being a little bit stricter with yourself. If you've had like a vacation recently, it can be that you're getting back into the fray of things and now you're like tunnel vision, nothing's going to get in your way, and you're obsessively working towards a goal, because the star energy is about success. That's your intention. Your star energy is about aligning with a wish, but also it is like hope returning or a renewal of your lust for your career. So if you've been feeling unmotivated recently or completely exhausted because you have so much going on, I feel, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, I feel like actually you work really well under pressure, even though you don't like it. So it is important that you make sure there are healthier working practices. I feel sometimes that it is a very toxic viewpoint of society to say that you must be always on the go. I feel compartmentalizing things very important, prioritizing things so important. If you feel like you've done as much as you can for that day, you're at capacity. Your body is saying, listen, we have reached a threshold, so therefore the world can be won another day. So take it in bite-sized chunks is what I would say, but the star energy is about you being seen in the working environment and really kind of like stepping up. I mean, this can also be, if you're someone, and I'm not sure, I probably don't have anyone out there who is like super famous, but if you're an influencer, super famous, or in the public eye, it can be the pressures to constantly perform. Even if you're in any industry, I just feel like the nature of the environment that we've built right now, especially after the last couple of years, there is this pressure to perform or outperform or kind of like, obviously be consistent, but it's like, it's amplified. The goalposts have moved, rules, regulations, policies changing, and it just feels like everybody's at capacity, okay? With the star energy, I feel like you're more than capable, but I feel this is about being clear as to what is needed to be done, because I feel with that 10 of Wands, it's like, don't take too much on, because sometimes we disappoint ourselves when we have like a huge list of things that is not realistic to complete in a day, okay? It can be that you take the first 3 that are really important, you prioritize those, and anything extra you can like fit them in after once you're done. So I feel this is about you putting a lot of pressure on yourself as well. But I feel with the star energy, if you work in an environment that is toxic, I feel like you're trying to find the healthiest route to be the best at what you do. So if you are famous, for example, that can be a very kind of closed-knit environment. I mean, most industries, there is a bit of a clique, and you may feel like you want to get into the inner circle, but, you're not compromising your morals, you're not compromising what you're about for that, and I feel like you're trying to take a healthy viewpoint on your working environment by scheduling over the next coming weeks and months. I mean, the Fool card can also indicate, because these are major arcana cards, it can be that you're about to take a new step in a different direction. If you work for yourself, it could be that you're, creating or launching a new line of things. It could be that you're creating a new product or offering a new service. You're already at capacity, but you're wondering, can you do this? Well, of course you can, but it's all about being in the rhythm. And the Fool card is like, either launching something or taking a leap of faith. You have a lot of fresh new ideas, but I feel a lot of you are learning to have fun with it, not to put so much pressure on yourself. There's something here that has a lot of potential, and I feel like there's a lot of success here. What you're aiming for, you will accomplish, but it requires a lot of your strength and energy, and you're capable of doing that. Now also, of course, we have the Tower. So for some of you, this could be a legal thing. It could be that you are trying to structure something legally and it's a new venture. It could be that you're trying to be your own boss, or you're trying to structure something in terms of like generational wealth. And sometimes that information is not readily available. And you can look at things and like, oh, okay, I thought it said this, but it meant this. There's a lot of legal jargon that leads you down the garden path and you're like none the wiser. So it could be that you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with information on something that you want to start and you're unsure about the right direction. So I would say getting a qualified professional to guide you through the pitfalls of any legalities, very important. And even like wealth structures, very important there as well. But it can be that you're doing something that you've never done before, or it can be that you're thinking about taking your career into a different direction and you're just a little bit nervous about that. You know, this card, it says structure. I feel structure is going to work really well for you because you're going to be super busy over the next coming weeks, but in a really wonderful way that sees rewards there. We've got authority, we've got ego, we've got standing out. I feel like you stand out. And sometimes that can be a very lonely process in the working environment. Even if you work for yourself, that's a lonely environment. It can be that networking opportunities are hard, or you're just always on the go. You're wearing so many hats in your industry and in your job and in your role that you're doing it all. You know, even if you're a parent as well, you're factoring that in. You know, you have so many like purposes, but also responsibilities. It can feel like there's so many layers to what you do. And sometimes it's overwhelming, and sometimes your body cries out for a break. And if you're lucky enough to be able to have that, then of course, you know, you will find the time to do that over the next coming weeks. If you're going through a legality, if you were like in a court case with a very toxic environment from the past, for some of you, it could be something that's ongoing. I feel like they will try and play dirty in some way. So just watch out for that. Document everything, keep everything, you know, above board. Really highlight. Some of you are exposing, you know, the toxicity in this structure, and I feel that perhaps they're not going to go down without a fight. Okay, so that's something that's coming out clearly. I mean, the truth will always out. The truth will always win. Okay, I feel that you could be offered a deal to just like make it go away. Okay, there is that energy coming through. 10 of Wands, you may decide to appeal, or you may decide to keep on fighting, but the choice is yours. They may come back with a secondary deal, something that perhaps, you know, you feel is better and closer to what it is that you're hoping to achieve, but I feel it's a process. The Tower energy can indicate that there's a lot of tension. Okay, there's a lot of pressure, and you may feel vulnerable. And, you know, I feel you have staying power here, but I feel having the right legal representation is important. Of course, I feel like you can't do it all by yourself, but I do feel like there's a better offer given to you that you feel kind of like, okay, you know what, I'll take that, because I feel like you still win the case. Okay, that's something that's coming out there, but there may be some revelations that you're like, what? And it feels very much like they just want it to go away. They're like, I don't want to focus on this, but this is important to you. So I feel that you'll see it through to the end is what I see there. But there will be an offer that you're like, okay, you know, I feel like you're not tempted by the first offer. I feel the second one is much more in alignment with what you're looking for. So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove myself from that energy there. But, you know, more than anything, I just feel whatever you're doing, whatever you're passionate about, because you have a passionate card there, you know, this can be that you're tearing up the roadmap on something. You know, it's like you're intuitively moving towards your success. There's definitely a glow up here. There's offers coming in, portals of opportunity, stuff that you've waited a long time for, been frustrated, that you've had like let down, setbacks, all of the stuff. But I feel this is starting to happen for you. It's starting to take shape. And I feel, you know, it's you becoming aware that it's lonely at the top. People change when you reach a level of success. This can be friends as well. So I feel like, you know, you may be looking at the pitfalls of you kind of like squirreling yourself away and becoming really successful, and then noticing that who's got your back, who deserves a place at your success table, things like that. And I feel like you're trying to build a structure right now. And some of you, this is schedule related, but some of you, it can be that you're trying to streamline, be more efficient, simplify things, take it in levels, as it were. But also, I feel, there is this energy of being really strict with yourself over the next coming weeks because you've got another Saturn card. So it can be that, there's stuff you got to do, and you're trying to limit any temptations or any procrastination because I feel like you just don't have time for it. And when you come out the other side, I feel like there's this relief, like, I did it. So you are going to feel really proud of yourself that you did it. Now we do have the Temperance card. It's in the Resistance position. So this can indicate some of you, because you're at capacity, you may be a little bit frustrated. There may also be one thing, because Temperance card in the Resistance position can be disruptive energy. So either this is a person, or it could be something that you are trying to either ship if you're into shipping things, or it could be something you're waiting for, contract, certification, qualification, something that perhaps is time sensitive. This may be delayed. I hate to give you this message. There's some sort of disruptive energy, okay? But I feel it's like down to the wire. It feels like it comes through last minute, but it puts you under pressure. So this could be like a sudden deadline as well. If you have clients or customers demanding something, I just feel like there's a bit of pressure. Now, I didn't choose the cards for you, and I hate giving you this message, but the Devil card, the Tower twice. The Tower is not a negative card. It can be shocks and surprises, but it can also be pressure. And I feel a lot of you, this is about stepping away to release the pressure or manage stress levels at this time. And for some of you, this could be an authoritative figure, someone who's got a big ego, someone who is abusing their power, maybe delegating extra work on you, or if you're an entrepreneur or an independent worker, this could be someone who's playing hardball, someone that you have to chase to get something done, or someone who is like, you know what, I'm going to take my sweet time. They know there's a deadline. This could be like you've tried to get, some sort of renewal on a visa or passport, or on some sort of certification, because there is a Death card energy. So it could be an expiry date that is really close to coming up, and you may have already put in for it, applied for it, and you're like, well, where is it? So you could be feeling a little bit stressed, but under the wire, it comes through. So I would say chase it, and give them a nudge, because it could be that it got lost in the system somehow, but I feel it does come to you under the wire. So you do get it. So, try to manage those cortisol levels. Now, the Death card, because you have the Fool card, it just feels like some of you maybe winding something down or ending something. If you create like products, it could be that you're retiring a product, for example, and you're like, okay, that ran its course. Now I'm doing something exciting and new. And you may be just worried how your customer base is going to embrace it. For some of you, this could also be that you are employing new skills, new technology, and you're getting to grips with it, but you're having to work and do what you do at the same time. So it feels like you're doing two things that will complement each other, but at the same time, there's a little bit of a glitch or a crossover. This could be like new technology, new software, new tools, just to stay ahead of the competition and relevant in your industry. But it requires you learning, or kind of like learning on your like day-to-day tasks. So it's like you're learning as you're earning. You're doing it on the go, on the fly. So it can feel like it's a lot. I also see a lot of you returning to a project that is like ongoing. This is something that's going to be very successful, okay? But I feel there could be some changes in your working environment, no matter what. And I feel actually these are long-term changes that will benefit you, but sometimes it feels like a bit of a gear shift, so it feels like chaos. So for example, if you are someone who is, working really hard to get everything done, because I feel a lot of you could be under pressure because you want to take a vacation, or perhaps there's something family related that you want to attend, and you're trying to just get everything done, a flurry of activity, right? You're putting yourself under pressure to make sure you get ahead of yourself. And it can be that, you are going to complete things, and maybe if you work for a company, you're trying to do it all, but also train somebody to do what you do, because the Fool card and the Page of Cups can be someone like a new hire or someone that is a temporary worker who comes in to fill your place, and you're like, you're doing the role, you're training in the role, so you're doing it twice to show someone, and maybe you're showing them a couple of times just so they get it, so that when you're away they really like keep the role ticking over, so that you don't come back to a disaster, right? When you come back, you're going to love what this person is about. In fact, you may even hire this person again in the future to cover you, and it just feels like the role is in safe hands, okay? I mean, there may be one very chaotic moment because it's like an anomaly that comes up, and this person, the way that they deal with it, they kind of calm the situation down and they find a way to work it out. I mean, for some of you, if you are hiring someone to do something while you're away, especially if you work for yourself, that's sometimes really hard to do. But if you do manage to do that, I feel like they may try to contact you once whilst you're on the vacation. I feel like they don't get to talk to you. Okay, that's the energy that's coming through, and they work it out themselves. So you may actually like message them after the fact, but they're like, it's okay, I dealt with it, it's all good. I was just wondering where this was, or they couldn't find something, or they just had not like, it's almost like you didn't even think that this would be a problem, so it was not something that could have arisen, so you may have not even covered it in the training because it's like something that happens once in a blue moon. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there because that's very specific. But I feel a lot of you are focused on completing tasks, okay? And you may even shock yourself how much you get done, because the Ten of Wands is there as a measure of like, whoa, that was a lot. And I feel this is about you holding it all together, holding the fort in some way, but realizing that, of course, you're making a difference, you're bringing in wealth and opportunity. This, you know, on a practical level, like if you're like, Baba, tell me about the money, okay? It can be that, you know, it's a slow process. You're maintaining and sustaining your finances. You're trying to find or open up a portal to new money-making ideas. And I feel like you have a talent that perhaps you're sitting on or developing at this time, and it is something that is going to see you branch out. For some of you, if you work for yourself, it could be that you're trying to branch out overseas or into different markets or even into different sectors, or try something new to keep things fresh. And you know, at the same time, you're doing something that you always do. And yes, it requires a lot of hard work, but when it's up and running, it could be something that perhaps is going to take over by itself. But in terms of finances, I would say that you're paying down your bills, and you know, you are looking at repayment plans, 401ks and things like that, because the death card is there. So some of you are thinking about retirement during this period as well, or you may even be in retirement and be like frustrated about your 401k or worried about your 401k. And I would say that, you know, even in retirement, there is this energy of you having a talent that you do that perhaps you consider a hobby, and it's something that you could actually put online or sell. Okay, it may not be that you want to dip back in. Some of you, there is an energy here of semi-retirement, okay, and that's again not going to affect all of you. But if you're thinking about retirement, I actually see that, you know, you have stability there. So I just want you to be aware of that. Ten of Wands, you're always going to feel worried about something, and you're always going to keep yourself busy. So I feel this is about you kind of like having slow progress in finances if you're just here like to find out about the money. So I'm just going to pull a quick card on that, but I feel more than anything, a lot of you are thinking about alternative streams of income. That doesn't have to be something that you do. It can be like investments, for example. I mean, the tree can represent real estate, maybe even like family businesses or things that perhaps, I'm just being given this energy of like ancestry and retro. So you could be doing something artistic that is bringing something back into fashion or bringing something back in some way. We've got the Eight of Cups. So a lot of you could be contemplating a new direction or feeling disappointed or unfulfilled with something. The Moon is uncertainty, the Magician card, Temperance. I feel like if you are worried about finances, I feel like you are super talented and there is a portal of opportunity for you to do something that you love. I mean, you've got a lot of major arcana cards here. So deeply reflective period about finances. I mean, we've got a Ten of Swords here. Ten of Swords is you have a lot on your mind, a lot that you're worried about perhaps. But I feel a lot of you are creating space for a new beginning because Eight of Cups. You know, I'm clarifying finances. So it could be that you are ending your business with a financial establishment. So you may feel that your bank is like giving less interest rates and you're like, no, I'm just not about it. You know, I can find something better elsewhere. Or you may feel that, you know, there are rules and regulations changing in and around finances, and it can be that structures are ending or putting the squeeze on certain amounts of money, for example, and you may feel a little bit worried about how these things affect you. The Magician card, I would say there's a little bit of magic where I feel something you're manifesting, but Patience, Temperance card, it feels connected to your calling. So, I mean, I feel no matter what stage you're at, because no Pentacles came out there, I feel this could be just worry, things that are on your mind, maybe even like things that people are talking about globally that worry people. I would say you're staying your course, and I would also say that you're called to do something. And this is your guides whispering to you saying, you know what, you're really good at this thing. Do it. Okay, and whatever that is, I feel the universe is then going to shock you with opportunities to do something that you love, follow your bliss, and the money will flow from there. That's what I'm being given, because the Page of Cups in alignment with a career or money reading means you will have enough. Okay, as long as you follow your heart, you will have enough. But I feel like you're building more than that. I feel like you're building wealth structures at this time. I would say don't go too quickly, because you may be have to return to something, or you may misstep. I'm going to pull a card on that tower on its own there, because this can be that you're a tower of power. You know, the tower is not a negative energy. It can be that you have a sudden epiphany that releases you from a very stuck situation. Some of you may feel like you've hit a plateau in your career and you're like, I want to move to the next financial stage. I want to like nourish my skill set. And you may feel the opportunities are not there. So you're looking further afield in order to grow in your industry, because I feel there is a lot of growth around you. But I feel, you know, these things are offered to you for you to be able to do that, okay? It requires a lot of strength and courage to kind of like walk away from something that you've been in for a while. So some of you, it could be that you are leaving the familiar to embrace the extraordinary. And sometimes that's a little bit nerve-wracking, because you're about to embark on a new adventure. Ten of Swords, end of something. Death card, end of something. Fool card, beginning. Nothing really ends, we transition. So you may feel that you're in a transition period in your industry, or that your industry is changing so much that you feel like you don't recognize it anymore. And you're finding portals of change and opportunity. I'm actually seeing a rabbit in the water right now as well. And a rabbit represents your efforts are rewarded, and also it's about multiplying wealth. There's always a rabbit on a Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so that's coming through there. The Ten of Wands, I feel like you are going to be busy for the next coming weeks. But this is a card of like clearing down your workload, you know, clearing the way for new beginnings. So I feel a lot of you are doing that at this time. I feel, you know, this is about expanding your network as well. I feel this is, you know, an energy of, okay, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. My guides gave me an energy as well of money coming on in and paying off like the largest bill, and things getting easier. Random, but that's something that came out there, okay? I would say as well, for some of you, there may be a shock bill, but you have to chase it, because I feel like it's wrong. Okay, so this could be a service provider, and you may even decide after this that you're going to leave that service provider, or threaten to leave them if they don't look into it further. So there could be like an increase, a very large increase in a bill, and you're like, oh, whoa, that's too much. And you may have to contest this. This is not for everybody, of course, but that's coming through. And you do, and you actually get money back. You get your money back, of course. However, they may actually try to give you an incentive to stay, because they really messed up. Because I feel like you're threatening to leave because of the whole debacle is what I'm being given. I don't talk like this. So debacle is really interesting. Nay and debacle. Loving these words that are coming through. The Empress energy, something you're working on already. You're going to have a glow up. You know, there is financial reward there. Also, we've got, Three of Swords, Four Swords. Something was hard, gets easier. You're protected at this time. You know, if it gets too challenging, take a rest. I feel like you are at capacity. I mean, that's just something that's coming out there, okay? And I feel this is mental well-being because of the swords. Also, some of you may have been just working like super hard. It is challenging out there right now. And the Four of Swords, it can be that you're about to get something on the internet. The Ether swords are about the internet. So it could be that you're trying to automate something, so it's ticking on in the background, you know, financially. It could be that you're writing something, because swords are all about words. It can be that you're writing a document or a handbook or a how-to or a novel, maybe even like a memoir about your experience in your career. And it could be something you're putting out there on the internet and people download it, maybe even a course of learning about your knowledge. And it could be something that just automates in the background there, you know, giving you finances. We have the Judgment card, so that's about you weighing up your options and also being connected to your sense of purpose. Also, I feel like you're returning to something that you absolutely love doing. And the Empress, of course, is about multiplying wealth. It's about harvest time. It's really hard, but I feel like you're capable of taking things to the next level. This is you being established at what you do and nurturing something, but most importantly, listening to your body and your well-being, okay? Because this is about you nourishing yourself in a different way, healthier working practices. And also, I would say this is a card of like promotions being headed your way. Not quite in the next 6 weeks, but I feel like you're working hard towards it and there's something going to be offered to you. Also, I feel this is a card that highlights that not only are you established, but I feel there is an increase in your finances on the way. Even if you're retired, it could be a small increase in your pension or your 401k there as well. But I do see amplified wealth. This is growth. Okay, but I feel like you're nourishing your career at this moment in time, working at capacity, and it's hard out there, but I feel like the rewards are going to be worth it, okay? We have confidence. Allow yourself to go for the dream that you really want. Braving storms. I mean, I feel like you are. I feel like, you know, there's been challenge in your working environment, whether that's your industry or specifically whatever you do. And when I say like your working environment or in your industry, you know, you could be out there on a limb doing your own thing because it's your dream. Industry just means like the genre of kind of like where you work. It doesn't have to mean that you're in corporate or that you are, you know, connected to some sort of like major establishment. It's the umbrella of, you know, something that you're passionate about. We've also got ascending, and we've got keep swimming. Yes. So confidence, peacock yourself. I mean, the star energy, a lot of, you know, promoting your work, marketing, getting yourself out there, allowing yourself to be seen. This will be a great time. If you're anxious about doing something like that, I feel like you have nothing to worry about, okay? I feel like you're smashing through a glass ceiling, allowing your work to be out there, your talent to really shine. You know, don't dim your light for other people, ever. You know, even the sun does not apologize for how bright it is, and it could literally blind you. So keep on shining, okay? But it says here, show what you can do. And sometimes it's hard to do that because doubts creep in and, you know, sometimes you're still out there peacocking yourself and you're like, is anyone noticing? Is anything going on here? But you are going to get the recognition you deserve and desire. We've got braving storms. So it may be there's a lot of pressure in the next couple of weeks. I feel like you're already under it because you've got the Devil card there. No matter what happens, you will emerge with grace. As I said, that tower really doesn't touch you. I feel it enforces your power. It says changing direction. Some of you really are changing a direction, and that can be hard, okay? Because you kind of mourn the role that you were in, but you didn't fail. There's no such thing as failure, only outgrowing a situation and acknowledging that it's not working for you anymore and you have other interests that you're curious about. So it could be you're walking away from something forever because there's a brand new shiny thing that you're really good at and excited about, and now you're taking that to the top. We've got ascending. So I would say, you know, this is a great time to keep doing what you're doing because I feel like you're making a difference. You're going to see a measure of success coming on in if you can't see it right now. Sometimes it's hard to see it when you're in it, but it says keep rising in the ranks. You are meant to be in charge. Empress energy is someone who's established and in charge, someone who's super creative, super productive. And, you know, when you're doing it all, it's hard, but it is going to be rewarding, and it will actually afford you a life of luxury. We've got power and prosperity. And of course, we've got keep swimming. You know, that can indicate it's hard, especially when the tides are changing. But this ship here, this indicates that you are adaptable. You can navigate your way through these changes and challenges, and you can just adjust your sails. You're going to reach your destination. It says you are getting there, but it just takes time to arrive. And I feel like you're in the period of like nearly there, about to arrive. Because the Ten of Wands is, if you know the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, someone who has all of those wands and the home space is just there. It's like you're taking it to the bridge. You're going to make it happen, right? And you're so close. You're not there yet, but you're so close to this breakthrough, to this pinnacle point where you see evidence of your hard work starting to pay off. I mean, you can see it a little bit because the star energy indicates you're aware that you've had some successes and you are a very successful person already, but I feel there is more to come. So I'm just going to go and get a trinket or a rune before we close. Okay, we actually have 2 trinkets here. So we have the moon. So that is all about uncertainty. It is also about fears. It's about, you know, perhaps even doing some of the roles that you don't like doing, but you know it helps you advance. But I also feel this is an energy of like something being orchestrated behind the scenes that you're not aware of just yet. And when the moment is right, it's going to be revealed. This is an opportunity that you will love. There is some good news here, but you've worked really hard to get there. Oh, we've got the gift rune. Now this is all about Wheel of Fortune energy. It means sudden surprises, opportunities being sent over to you, maybe even partnerships, but this is like a divine union. And this can be a heart-led purpose, you know, that you get abundance because you're doing something that you're called to do, that you love. Okay. Also, this is all about fortune. So I would say your fortune is about to change, but with so many success stories, there's always that kind of chaotic period before the breakthrough. You know, I've experienced that. Lots of well-known people have actually said, you know, there was a lot of chaos. They were having lots of setbacks, and then suddenly the break came through. And I feel like you're on the precipice of that major breakthrough. Okay, so I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Aquarians. Thank you so much, and love and light.